here, and we're back with more Expected and Unexpected by Arctic Vulpix. We are on chapter 1, and we are officially starting night 1 of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 part of this, FNAF 2 of this. So, this should be very interesting. Toys are going to need the luck, especially as we saw how we heard how Ruby took on the originals, and the toys seem to be less experienced, so they're really going to need the luck. Also, let me know what you think of the new thumbnail. I don't know if that's what he actually looks like. It's how I kind of imagine her. I like the idea of having her Heidi having like shorter hair and like curly. I don't know if her hair was curly, but I imagine that's what she looks like. And I added the glasses because I thought, I don't know, I just felt like giving her glasses. I mean, it had stated that she did need glasses, although I think that's because she might be short-sighted, or yeah, or long-sighted. I don't know. She's unable to read closely to her face, I think. But yeah, anyway, let's get started on chapter 21, night 1, take 2. Petey glared at Ruby. He was lounging on the table, looking through the cameras on the tablet idly. The toys were still trying to get the puppet out, an hour after she had locked him in, and Bonnie and Foxy were enjoying the show, mostly ignoring the mechanic. Goldie was floating mid-air while she read the first of her favorite books. Fred and Chica were watching Ruby and waiting for the explosion they knew was coming. Surprisingly, the most violent combination was turning out to be the night guard and mechanic. Their personalities were too different. Ruby was impulsive and violent, while Heidi was a peacekeeper and logical. Heidi also clearly thought Ruby too reckless for the job after the deal she had made with the toys. Where did you put the key to the box, Ruby? Heidi was making an effort to be civil at least. Ruby wasn't. Anyone else would have probably stopped a long time ago with the hostility that was raining off of her. She turned a scathing glare on the mechanic who flinched. Who wouldn't? Oh, that key? She said sweetly, looking ready for murder in all honesty. I gave it to BB with a battery and orders to not let any of you get it. They stared at her incredulously. That explained BB's absence, but she was already using their own against them? Ruby went back to the tablet, but they weren't fooled. There was an annoyed twitch under her right eye now, as she looked ready to throw something at the older girl. This isn't going to end well, Chica murmured to Freddie, who just sighed and nodded before going back to his book. The entire night was drained, and while Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie eventually got the key back, the puppet immediately disappeared into his box, trailing glitter behind him, muttering some profanities that had both animatronic groups biting their tongues. Seems he didn't care about swearing like they did. Hey, how come he could swear? Ruby pouted as the chimes went off, looking at Freddie. He was just otherwise, Freddie chuckled as she flapped back and glared mildly at him. Are you sure about this whole challenge, Ruby? Chica asked softly, now that the toys had left. Heidi was the only one there as she was packing up her things. Of course, Ruby grinned. It'll stop them from causing problems. And I get a way to vent my frustration. Bonnie and Foxy dragged Goldie over to join them. We should at least tell you how they work, Foxy said, elbowing Goldie in the ribs. She grumbled but put a book down. Well, Bonnie is the first to leave every time. She frowned in thought as she remembered the past. Does he also have a weird obsession with the closet? Ruby asked, and Bonnie swiped at her playfully, which she easily dodged. Goldie chuckled softly. Then I think Toy Chica is the next most active, and then Toy Freddy the least. As long as we keep the music box wound up, the puppet will leave you alone. They actually used to be more sneaky, but she seems kind of different now. And of course, I'm not participating. Freddy nodded. None of us are. There's nothing they can do to force us like last time. She smiled at him, understanding the subtle flinches and winces for what they were. So what did happen to Mangle? Since Spoilsport over there won't tell me, she asked, pointing at Hebe, who was almost finished backing. Well, you know how popular Foxy is, she just smiled slightly. They didn't take kindly to him being replaced. They didn't take kindly to anyone being replaced last, Foxy frowned. But yeah, the last took the brunt of it, and the kids pulled her apart one day. Ruby looked shocked. Yikes. Okay, that does explain the jumpiness. She frowned, but shook herself out of it a moment later. She had to get home before Alice had a heart attack again. Well, I better get going. She waved at them as she walked to the door. Will behind her told her that Hebe was also leaving. Outside, Ruby stretched for a moment in the fresh air before turning to face Hebe. She knew that the mechanics wanted to say something away from the bots, which was why she had dawdled when packing. What? She asked flatly. Hebe sighed as she rubbed her eyes. Why are you being so reckless? She demanded. Ruby's eyes narrowed. Listen here. I might not be able to drink legally yet, but I can sure as hell handle a bunch of animatronics. I already did it before, and if you don't remember, that group actually managed to kill a few night guards. Your bunch is still way too inexperienced. You speak about this as if it's a game, he exclaimed, fixing her eyes on Ruby. Because it is a game. To them, that's how they think. They're programmed to work with children, after all. Ruby hissed back. You're not helping anything with challenging them. He tried to reason with her. Remember, Hebe. Ruby rounded her, eyes burning. They're the ones who started this. They're the ones who want to kill me. Everything I do is just self-defense. Her smile sent chills down the older girl's spine. A smile was not appropriate for this conversation. I'm not about to roll over and die. I intend to win, no matter what it takes. That's just my approach to life in general. As she turned to leave, she paused for a moment and looked back. This whole logical, peaceful approach you got going on, it doesn't work here. This place doesn't follow regular logic or conventions. You're not going to make it if you don't understand that. She left those parting words echoing in the mechanic's head. He found herself more confused about Ruby than ever. Ruby arrived for her shift Monday night, 20 minutes early. She calmed her bots down as they spent the day working themselves into a panic over what was going to happen. Once that was done, she set them up with a projector and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That would keep them busy at least. Stay safe, Ruby, Freddie told her just before she left as she grinned back. Have you already forgotten how I kicked your butts last night? She smirked, and they had to chuckle at that. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Can't say the same about the toys. She left with her signature smirk on her face, patting her bag of weapons. She ran into Edie, who was just coming out of Private Cove. The mechanic set her jaw and wheeled over to her. Since you seem determined to do this, I needed to tell you that Mangle won't participate. She's too fragile at the moment, so I told the toys that she can't help. Edie explained stiffly, once Ruby had stopped to listen. Okay, Ruby shrugged indifferently. Edie studied her for a moment before speaking again. Do you mind if I stay in the office? I have some work to do on some parts. Ruby shrugged again. I never stay in there anyway. She started walking again, while he frowned and followed. You don't stay in the office? She asked in confusion. No, that's just plain stupid. It's like asking to be attacked if you stay in one place with killed robots wandering around. Ruby rolled her eyes, tired of explaining this to people. It seemed like common sense to her. So you just run around with no protection? He stared at her incredulously. Who said I don't have protection? Ruby grinned statistically as she patted her weapons bag. He sighed in frustration at the girl's persistence. Stay out the way, things will be fine. Ruby shrugged as she entered the office. Tuning out He's argument, Ruby spotted a box on the desk that hadn't been there the previous night, and night guard written across the side and looked kind of old. Curious, she dropped her bag and removed the box. Prying it open, she was surprised. Training tapes? She murmured to herself, holding the tapes up to inspect them. They were each labeled Night 1 through Night 6. Huh. They must have come with the toys from the old location, Kitty guessed. Ruby shrugged and moved over to the phone. She had already taken the tape that held Steve's recordings home, so she just slipped the tape in and closed it, waiting for 12 to start playing it. He watched her in silence, admittedly curious about her strange actions. She had guessed that Ruby would run off immediately after arriving. 12 hit and the phone rang, sending a wave of nostalgia for Ruby. Hello? Hello, hello? The familiar voice shocked Ruby. Steve! She yelled happily as he murmured Uncle Scott at the same time. Uncle Scott? Ruby frowned at Heaney, but the phone's close continued, stopping that conversation. Uh, hello, and welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Um, I'm here to talk you through some of the things you could expect to see during your first week here to help you get started down this new and exciting career path, Steve explained excitedly, and Ruby chuckled. Some things never change, she murmured fondly. Now, I want you to forget anything you may have heard about the old location. You know, some people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company. Uh, that old restaurant was kind of left to rot, for quite a while. But I want to reassure you, Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and, above all, safety. Steve sounded nervous again. Safety. Right. Ruby rolled her eyes. Except for the killer robots. They spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility. They even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat? He paused to clear his throat. Ruby stiffened up at the mention of the toys, which had Petey glancing at her in concern. Yeah, spent a fortune replacing childhood heroes. Always a good idea, Ruby muttered bitterly, hands clenching and unclenching a few times. The bitterness in her voice surprised the mechanic. But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they could detect a predator a mile away. Heck, we should be paying them to guard you. Steve laughed unsteadily. Ruby raised an eyebrow. No thanks. No thanks. Besides the fact that they hate me, they look like frickin' dolls. He glared at her. You should stop calling them that. I'll call them what I bloody well please. Ruby grabbed back. Uh, now that being said, no new system without it kinks. Ruby just rolled her eyes again. Steve, you are the master of understatements. You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished this week, but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift. So hey, lucky you, right? Yeah, lucky me. I get homicidal doubles now. Ruby cheered while Heidi bit her lip to keep from commenting. It didn't seem like she could get through to the night guard that way. Bailey expressed concern that certain characters seemed to move around at night, and even attempted to get into his office. Ruby gasped. No kidding? The same thing happened to me. He glared at her while she giggled. She was treating this like some kind of joke. Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth, Steve assured them. Wow, security must have sucked worldwide back then if that was considered safest. Ruby idly fiddled with some things on the desk, getting bored. So, while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that roads were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So then they just go try to find where the people are. And in this case, that's your office. So our temporary solution is this. There's a music box over by, by the prize counter, and it's rigged to be wound up remotely. So just every once in a while, switch over to the prize counter video feed and wind it up for a few seconds. Luke stared at the phone, waiting for the buzz that would inevitably follow this brilliant solution. It doesn't seem to affect all of the animatronics, but it does affect one of them. Clear his throat again. Ruby faced him with a groan. Um, and as for the rest of them, we have even easier solution. You see, there may be a minor glitch in the systems, something about robots seeing you as an endoskeleton without his costume on, and wanting to stuff you in a suit. So hey, We've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved, he cheered. Wow, he got over that really fast. Ruby was impressed. But I was sticking my head in some head. That's just weird. What happened to spending a fortune on them? That seems like a pretty big glitch. Not that it's really a glitch. They're just messing with you. Do you talk to yourself a lot? He sighed in annoyance. What do you mean? I'm talking to Steve. Ruby grinned cheekily back. He pinched the bridge of her nose and breathed in deeply. You can put it on any time and leave it on as long as you want. Eventually, anything that glitters in will wander back out. Steve continued explaining the second brilliant solution. No thanks, Ruby shook her head. And you're making them sound like straight animals. Something else worth mentioning is kind of the bottom design of the building. You may have noticed there are no doors being closed. Hey, you have a light. And even though your flashlight can run out of power, the building cannot. So don't worry about the place going dark. Okay, no doors. Seriously stupid. Do they want to lose security guards? But if the limitless power thing would help. Ruby smirked at the phone again. Well, I think that's it. You should be golden. Ruby choked on a laugh. I wonder if he knows about Goldie, she giggled, effectively distracted from everything happening now. Check the light. Put on the Freddy hat if you need to. Keep the music box wound up. Be skate. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Steve hung up. Still giggling, and still giggling, Ruby began to check the tablet. She noticed a new button on the screen when she flicked to the room with the puppet's box in it, and being the curious and impulsive girl she was, she pressed it. Faint music could be heard, and she assumed she was winding up the music box as the meter on the screen went up. Weird, she muttered, skipping over Goldie's poster, Pirate Cove, in the room where her bots were watching their movie. She'd almost forgotten Edie was in the room at this point. The Bobby Rabbit is the first to move. Better get going then. She grabbed her bag and turned around at the last second. When you hear explosions, just ignore them. He groaned. It wasn't even if, it was when. Just don't do permanent damage, she almost begged. No promises. Ruby's smile was feral. He looked at the doorway, biting her lip. Why did she feel a little worried for the toys and the night guard? She glanced at the phone for after a moment. She hadn't heard her uncle's voice in a long time. Ruby had forgotten how much fun messing with with homicidal robots was. She raced down the hallway, laughing so hard she could barely breathe, adrenaline pounding through her system while the irate blue rabbit chased her. Well, it used to be blue. She decided on never paint night for night one. Toy Chica appeared ahead, obviously thinking she could cut Ruby off. The night guard grinned maliciously and aimed the paintball gun. Not even animatronics could stand up to a machine gun barrage of paintballs. She sprinted past the horrified chicken and dived into a nearby vent. The toys had been furious to discover that she used the vents to navigate the building and that none of them could fit into them in this incarnation of the pizzeria. Of course, they'd been shocked to find that Ruby didn't even stay in the office in the first place. That was all before she started shooting paintballs at them, and now they didn't even know what to fill. Baby, being the smallest bot, had tried to follow her into the vents. Then there had been loud bangs and screeches, and now he refused to leave the closet, having barricaded himself inside. She was already driving them crazy, having found time to string plastic wrap across the doorways, leading them straight into the clingy film. She'd hit them with blue bombs followed up by glitter bombs and mines. She set up an explosive pizza in the kitchen. There were paint buckets above doorways, confetti cannons around corners. She even placed a table in the puppet's box at some point, which she was not amused by. In short, she was making sure the toys knew that this was her space. She was marking her territory in a sense, and making them aware of the fact that they were the intruders. At some point, she stumbled, laughing, past Mangle, to timidly poke her head out of Pirate Cove. The fox froze when she saw Ruby, but the night guard waved her fear off. I slipped a glitter bomb in the clown's box. That was funny, she giggled madly, stumbling off while trying to breathe properly again. Mangle stared at the girl in confusion. She was really strange, but mentally she didn't seem that bad. She was just trying to protect her friends as she saw the toys as a threat. After another explosion gave her a fright, she scurried back into the cove to hide. Toy Freddy felt like he'd been hit by a bomb. Not talking about the actual glitter bomb that had hit him. This night guard was insane. Utterly insane. She was actually enjoying the chase. The puppet was currently trapped in his box by a table, and none of them could get through the little glitter minefield that she had set up around it. He leaned against the wall to straighten out his thoughts when another explosion went off in the building, and Toy Bonnie screamed in frustration. Is she always like this? He mumbled to himself. Yep, Goldie's voice echoed eerily out of nowhere. She materialized, still holding her book, and grinned at him. She's always like this, but it's much more fun when it's not directed at you. She hummed happily as she flipped a page. She's the night guard, Toy Freddy hissed, but Goldie ignored him. I can't believe that the kids haven't gotten rid of her yet. Goldie snorted. Yeah, right. She won that bet fair or square. Just like she's gonna win this one. You seem awfully confident, Toy Freddy frowned. Goldie shrugged. You do know she's still glorying it, right? It's only night one. With that, she disappeared, leaving an obvious feeling behind with the other bear. Toy Chica slipped down the wall, panting. This girl just never seemed to run out of energy. Why won't she just stay in the office? The chicken whined to herself. Nearby, Nagel poked her head out the cove at the chicken's voice and looked at her inquisitively. She was rather confused about all the glitter. The night guard, Toy Chica explained petulantly. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but hopefully I did that right. Booby trapped the entire place. Nagel looked up and down the hall a few times before she disappeared back into the cove. She wasn't getting involved in whatever was causing those explosions. Toy Chica huffed in annoyance and stood up again, determined to get this girl. Toy Bonnie was losing his mind, completely and utterly. Stop doing that! He screamed as the guard was at the guard who was pelting him with paintballs. Surprisingly, she did stop and speared him with a glare. Oh, come on! Will you stop being such a frickin' baby, Barbie doll? It's a paintball gun. The bat survived it fine. It took it much better than you. She looked thoroughly annoyed. Honestly, are you trying to ruin fun? Toy Bonnie ground and leaped at her. She danced out of the way, though an annoyed look still on her face. Fine. You don't want to play? Then you get the Betty treatment. Before the rabbit could even process the words, the bat came speeding through the air and slammed into his skull. It tipped him off balance and sent him to the ground. Dizzy, he looked up at her in shock. My bot's dealt with a lot worse, you wimp. Man up. She sniffed distastefully before sauntering away. Baby came running down the hallway, screaming out a war cry again. Seeming to have gotten over his earlier fright, and Ruby absently batted him to a wall. Noted to self. Bring the sledgehammer next time. The puppet sat fuming in his box. He was well and truly stuck with whatever was on top, and the guard was keeping the music box wound up. Every now and then he heard an explosion or yell of anger and frustration echo out. After a while, he started to wonder if he was better off inside the box. Bonnie glanced back at the door longingly as yet another explosion went off. She's got a handle, Bonnie. Trust me, Goldie assured him from her position breathing in the air. But I want to play too. It's boring, Bonnie groaned, fluffing back. Chica looked at him with sympathy. I think it's best if we stay out of her way tonight, Bonnie. Freddie shushed him and turned to avidly watching the movie while they snickered at them. A scream echoed through the building as Foxy tilted his head. That's so funny. I wonder what the us is doing tonight, they mused. Bonnie groaned again. Probably fun, and they won't even appreciate it most likely. Before they could say anything else, Freddie shushed him again, and he smirked in amusement. Seemed each of them had a weakness for a specific movie franchise. I wonder what Chica's is, because I'm guessing Foxy is Pirates of the Caribbean. Freddie's got Lord of the Rings. Goldie's Harry Potter. I believe Bonnie is what's Bonnie's Star Wars. So what's Chica? That just leaves her. I'm curious. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think Chica's would be. Movie franchise would be. Anyway, When 6 a.m. finally chimed, the toys felt like they had been hit by a bomb. They hadn't even gotten close to catching the night guard. She grinned at them from across the room as he surveyed the damage. "You've got to be kidding me," she deadpanned. The toys were covered in paint, glitter, glue, and 100 other things. So was the rest of the building, except the main dining room and Pirate's Cove. Ruby had even somehow drawn a mustache on Toy Chica. Not even Toy Chica knew how that had happened. A whistle from the doorway caught their attention. Foxy was surveying the mess. "Looks like you had some fun last," he chuckled, ignoring the glare sent his way. Ruby skipped over to him and grinned. "Yeah, but none of them can run as fast as you can," she admitted, annoyance. "Kinda takes away from the thrill." They gaped at her while Foxy just chuckled. "So you heading home now?" Bonnie asked from behind Foxy. He was still worried around Edie. Ruby stretched and nodded. "You want me to bring any specific movie for tomorrow night?" "Well, I don't think Freddie will be happy until he's gotten to watch the Lord of the Rings series finish," Foxy chuckled. Ruby smirked. "I'll bring the Hobbit series then. It's a prequel trilogy." Bonnie grinned. "He'll be happy, but I don't think Chica will. She didn't really like it, I think. I'll get something for her after the Lord of the Rings binge." She packed her things and headed for the door while Hebe struggled to clean something off of a complaining toy Bonnie. She glanced back at the mechanics. They could do it themselves. My bots could. So before anyone could yell at her, Bonnie and Foxy ran off to avoid the inevitable explosion too. The toys were still yelling an hour later, and he had to frankly cool them down before the cleaners got there. Some cleaners looked around at the mess after they arrived and glanced at each other. Seemed like it was an exciting night, all right. And that's the end of chapter 21. I hope you enjoyed that little chaos. It wasn't too big, I don't think. It was just like very messy, and it wasn't that hilarious. It was just like, okay, this is happening. But don't worry. Hopefully, as we go on, we'll get more humor and pranks. That would be a lot more entertaining. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Uh, Leave a like if you did, and also go. I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention at the beginning. The chapter link is in the description. I forgot about that. Whoops. But yeah, there is a chapter link. So if you want to leave a review, go ahead. Let the author know you're enjoying this because they wrote this. Okay. So let them know, and also let me know what you think. But only if you let them know first, because I want to hear about this. I want to share this love of this fanfic. Uh, Also, be sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every Friday. Also, comment down below what you think Chica's favorite movie franchise is. Like, what do you think would suit Chica? I don't think she'd be interested in action films. Maybe something drama, maybe? I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, anyway, I will see you guys next Friday with a new video.